I was not expecting a movie about a talking goat to be one of the best basketball films of all time, but I just watched the new movie Goat, so here's my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the movie. If you don't know, the movie follows Will Harris, who is a goat, and he wants to play the professional sport of rollerball, which is pretty much just basketball in this animal world, but the limitation is that only large animals like panthers, rhinos, elephants are allowed to play. I know it feels very lazy to compare this to Zootopia since they're both just talking animal movies, but I feel like I have to because the styles of humor is honestly so similar. Like this has that same kind of quick, quippy style. The amount of basketball references to just iconic moments of the game, basketball culture overall, and literally specific plays like this Harden crossover on the bottom are just recreated in this movie. And honestly, it was super cool to see. They even recreate the iconic I want Iguodala moment, which if you know nothing about basketball was an absolutely blasphemous take. Curry is a million times better.
Fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala.
Now, yes, this movie is kind of just your generic underdog sports story, again, following this GOAT, Will Harris. Everybody tells him, oh, he's too small, you'll never play this sport professionally, but there is a fun twist angle in this too. Because at the same time that you're following this literal GOAT animal chasing his dreams, you're also focusing on the current GOAT of the sport, meaning the greatest of all time, who is this Panther Jet. She is widely considered the greatest at this sport, but she's been playing for 15 years and has never won a championship, and that's kind of a stain on her legacy. These two characters are really the core of the entire movie, and their dynamic of them really clashing about like the old versus new school way of playing the sport, her kind of dealing with passing the torch on to the next generation, honestly really works. But with that being said, the supporting cast is really fun too. You got like this horse that's kind of like the opposition, the villain on the opposing team, and his name is literally main attraction. Really fun performance from this guy. Same goes for the rest of the supporting characters. Like it is a celebrity heavy voice cast in this movie. You got like David Harbour, Nick Kroll, Gabrielle Union, Patton Oswalt, even Steph Curry himself voicing a character, but they all do a really good job, make all these characters super unique. And like I said, Steph Curry is a voice of a different character. He's not the main character in this movie. He is also a producer on this film, but I wasn't aware of just how much the main character, Will Harris, was based off of Steph Curry. Watching this movie, it's very clearly like heavily inspired by Steph Curry because he's this undersized guard who's way too small compared to everybody else in the league. He's also amazing at three-point shooting. He even dresses like Steph Curry, wears like similar styles of hoodies and everything. But I do think it was smart to not just make him like, oh yeah, this is Steph Curry as a GOAT, because that's the new biopic trend of just making yourself an animal now. Like, no, it's his own story. The real thing we need to have a conversation about is the fact that Sony Pictures Animation is becoming one of the best American animation studios, at least for how their films look visually. Like, this movie does look incredible. The actual rollerball moments are really great. Their previous films in the last couple of years, obviously the Spider-Verse movies, K-pop Demon Hunters, which wasn't really for me, but I know a lot of people absolutely love that film. Like, they are cooking lately. And they understand, like, yes, you can make a movie that's tailored for kids, but still make it unique in the story, have some fun surprises in there, and make it look super interesting visually. That is a huge thing that's important to a lot of people nowadays, and Sony Pictures Animation is doing it better than anybody else, like I said, in America at least. So if you're a fan of sports movies or basketball in particular, this is definitely a must watch, but even if you're just a fan of good animated films, I highly recommend it. Really no major criticisms. It's not like mind-blowing or anything. I'm going to give it a strong 7.5 to 8 out of 10. If you want to see all my other movie reviews on the channel, click the playlist above my head right now, and thank you so much for watching.